This week on Africa Weekly. We start in France, where the government has agreed to grant citizenship to Senegalese troops who fought for France in Vietnam and Algeria. We go to Cairo, the sprawling metropolis in constant gridlock that costs around $8 billion a year in late deliveries and wasted fuel. And we take a closer look at the Africa Cup of Nations, which is going ahead in Gabon despite violence that erupted after the recent presidential election. But first, a summary of the stories that made the headlines this week. The government and opposition parties in the Democratic Republic of Congo clinched a hard-won deal over President Joseph Kabila's fate, ending a political crisis that sparked months of deadly unrest. Under the terms of the deal, Kabila will stay until the end of 2017, but a transition council will be established, headed by opposition leader Etienne Tshisekedi. Talks were launched by the Roman Catholic Church to ward off violence as Kabila's second and final mandate ended on the 20th December, with no sign of him stepping down and no election in sight. The head of Gambia's Electoral Commission has fled to neighbouring Senegal, fearing a plot against him. This comes a month after declaring President Yahya Jammeh lost elections after 22 years in power. Aliou Moma Nje declared opposition candidate Adama Barrow the winner of the December 1st presidential elections and pleaded with all parties to respect the result. A French court agreed to adjourn the trial of the playboy son of Equatorial Guinea's president, giving him 6 more months to prepare his defence against charges he embezzled more than €1 million. Théodorin Obiang, Equatorial Guinea's vice president, is suspected of plundering his oil and timber-rich country to buy a mansion on one of Paris's most exclusive avenues. Lawyers for the 47-year-old argued they didn't have enough time to prepare their defence and call witnesses. Twin suicide car bombs claimed by the al-Qaeda-aligned Shabab insurgent group wounded 9 people at the entrance to Mogadishu's fortified airport and a nearby hotel. The Shabab is fighting to overthrow the internationally backed government in Mogadishu and regularly uses suicide bombers against government, military and civilians. But this is the first time the well-known and popular Peace Hotel has been attacked. Somalia is in the midst of a drawn-out election process to choose a new government, with most parliamentarians sworn in last week. South African firefighters have been battling blazes burning in the Western Cape Mountains as fire raged through the region known for its wine production. More than 100 fires were put out in a single day, but despite the damage, no one was hurt. Books and bangs are proving a hit in Ivorian hair salons as the country's chief librarian has come up with a novel way to encourage women to read. A total of 23 hair salons now offer customers a range of books on loan from the National Library in a bid to help women to learn whilst looking good.
Souvenirs of a past life. At 88, Yoro Diao remembers vividly his days as an infantryman in the French army. Some, like the Battle of Tonkin during the French War with Indochina, are hard to forget.
It
was guerrilla warfare. It wasn't a frontal assault. If you have the enemy in front of you, you can defend yourself. But there were guerrillas. They used every means. I lost a lot of friends in Indochina, many Frenchmen, Europeans and Africans.
Diao is a veteran of the 24th Senegalese Infantry Regiment of the French Army. He fought in Indochina as well as in Algeria. Though he collects a veteran's pension in France, he has never been granted nationality. Along with fellow veterans who are also his neighbors in this suburban Paris residence, Diao is now closer than ever to becoming a citizen of the country he risked his life to defend.
When they recruited us into the French army, we were considered French, but when we left the French army, we became Senegalese.
Their cause got a boost when it caught the attention of Aissata Seck. Herself granddaughter of a Senegalese infantryman, she started by helping the veterans with paperwork.
The hardest to obtain are the birth certificates of the parents and grandparents. They're impossible to get since, at the time of birth of the parents of these veteran infantrymen, there was no birth registry.
At a bureaucratic dead end, SEC then decided to appeal to France's highest office. She launched a petition that gathered more than 60,000 signatures and soon received a letter from the President of France.
Of course, this means our efforts paid off, and above all, it's official. It can't be undone.
It took decades of work, and the gesture comes too late for soldiers who've since passed away. Though Diao is focusing on the future, he knows he has succeeded where others have failed.
I feel like I'm getting what our forefathers never had. Veterans of World War I didn't get it even though they asked. Veterans of World War II didn't get it. If we get it, we will be the third generation, veterans of Indochina and Algeria.
Planning is underway for the naturalization ceremony, which will make French citizens of 100 or so living veterans.
Every day before facing Cairo's traffic jams, Mustafa plans his journey meticulously. In his SUV, one eye on his smartphone's GPS, he dodges a chaotic flow of tuk-tuks and trucks. In this sprawling metropolis of 20 million people, traffic laws are rarely respected.
It changed my daily routine. It changed my life. I have more options in terms of itineraries. I can choose one over the other, or wait a bit for the traffic to die down.
The Egyptian capital is well known for its unending bottlenecks and reckless drivers. Authorities say they set up speed cameras and radars to control the traffic, but little has changed. Some residents have given up on cars altogether.
When I took the car, I would only work. Since I started riding a scooter, I go to work, and when I come back, I have time to take a nap, go to the coffee shop or visit friends. I used to miss all of this.
Zigzagging between cars is dangerous, but anything goes to save some time. Some 3.3 million vehicles ply Cairo's streets, including thousands of taxis, according to official statistics. Public transport is crowded, and there are only 3 metro lines.
All the roads are clogged up in the country. We're suffocating. It's a waste of all our resources.
According to the World Bank, congestion costs Egypt around $8 billion yearly because of late deliveries and wasted fuel. And in 2015, an estimated 17 people died each day on Egyptian roads.
Meet Samba, Gabon's mascot, hoping to bring the country luck as it hosts the Africa Cup of Nations. Samba launched competition ticket sales mid-December, 1 month ahead of the first match on January the 14th. With prices ranging from 80 cents to 60 euros, it's hoped the games will be accessible to everyone.
We know that from January things will pick up, so we launched ticket sales a month earlier so that people could buy their tickets stress-free.
Organisers have their work cut out ahead of the tournament's kick-off in Libreville. More than 500,000 tickets are to be sold and stadiums still need to be finished. No mean feat after a political and economic crisis following contested elections last August.
These elections are in the past. I am not thinking about the elections today, but about a celebration of football.
But opposition supporters are still thinking about elections. Opposition leader Jean Ping has repeatedly declared himself the winner, while the Constitutional Court has upheld Ali Bongo's victory. The opposition say the competition is being used to distract people from the results.
It is a simple PR exercise that adds nothing to the Gabonese state. On the contrary, it uses up public finances.
From January 14th, all eyes will be glued to the competition, whether it's to see how Gabon's Panthers fare or to see the impact of the beautiful game on the country's political playing field. Algerian striker Riyad Mahrez has been voted African Footballer of the Year after inspiring Leicester City to the English Premier League title last season. Mahrez beat last year's winner, Gabon skipper Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who took second place. Next week, we take a look at the sapphire mining industry in Madagascar. First unearthed in the country back in the late 90s, today thousands of people hunt for these precious gems in unstable mines, perpetuating a cycle of poverty and danger. That's all from us at Africa Weekly. Until next week.